Things don't always go as we plan. I'd been looking forward to this studio day all through the busy Mother's Day weekend, but when I finally sat down, I realized my body was still at work. Today, nothing just felt right, and maybe that's exactly the lesson I needed to learn. I've been trying to get better at recognizing my own limits lately. Last weekend at work drained me more than I realized, and my body still feels so swollen and sore from all the heavy lifting and running around. But I'd been craving for this time to paint for days, so I kept trying to push through, even as a small voice in my head kept reminding me that I was deeply tired. I'd actually started noticing the depth of my exhaustion already last week when I took 3 full days off. I thought I'd finally be able to relax properly, slow down, and maybe do something fun. But instead, I ended up sitting face to face with my own shadows. That's usually what happens when I've been neglecting recovery for way too long. It is a bit embarrassing how often I find myself returning to this same place. Every time I think I have finally learned how to balance creative work with my day job, I realize I've slipped back into overworking and overperforming again. The funny thing is that I'm actually happier with my life right now than I've been in a long time. I genuinely love my part-time job at the garden center, and my days are filled with things that feel deeply meaningful and enjoyable for me. In so many ways, things are really good. And maybe that's partly why I didn't notice the warning signs sooner. A lot has changed in a very short time, and I think I got a little swept up in the momentum without realizing my body was really asking me to slow down. Instead of leaving the studio with a finished painting, I left with a lesson about my own limits. It wasn't what I had hoped for today, but maybe it was still exactly what I needed. Even though it was really uncomfortable sitting with those difficult emotions in the studio, it felt necessary. As the feeling of flow kept slipping further and further away, I tried to let the discomfort wash over me instead of fighting it. Nothing seemed to work. I just couldn't find the right rhythm on the canvas, or any sense of freedom or movement. Still, I tried to hold on to the courage to fail. And fail I did, again and again. That feeling can be difficult to make peace with, but today it felt strangely important. When I'm tired, I can't access the best parts of myself, and nowhere does that become more obvious than in the studio. Today I let myself be tired, and I gave myself permission to paint badly. Somehow that felt surprisingly comforting. A reminder that I don't always have to perform at my best in order to keep showing up. Today, rest meant painting only as much as I had the energy for. It meant spending time in the studio with myself and focusing on something that genuinely matters to me. But it also meant deciding to take more days off in the near future, so I can properly recover from all the changes life has brought lately. When you are working towards things that deeply matter to you, it is so easy to forget to slow down. And honestly, I think that might be the hardest lesson for me to learn. Maybe I won't suddenly find this perfect balance overnight or some permanent state of calm, but I'm doing my best. And maybe that's all any of us can really do. I just spent 4 hours in the studio, and now everything looks so much worse than when I started. And it is so frustrating. I hope that this little walk and some coffee will make things a bit easier. Maybe rest is the skill we have to practice over and over again, every single day. Have a gentle week, my friend.